What's going on, guys? National Master James Canty III here, and today we're back with the Endgames part 3 here. We're still in chapter 1. There's a lot in chapter 1, guys. So let's get right into it. Dvoretsky Endgame Manual. We're using forward chess. Make sure you guys grab it right below. The links are below so you guys can use this same application here. So here we left off right here, and I remember studying this position as white. And here, what's going on here actually? There's a bishop, rook, pawn versus rook and knight here. My knight is under attack here, and I know the fact that if I play king to g3, so if I go king g3 here, he can actually take this, and if I take back, there's bishop to b6, and I'm just losing. I'm just losing in this position, right? I don't have any other way to defend it. But here we have a novelty, something like really nice here, and this is a problem that we have to. This is a solution here, like we have to figure this out, or an exercise they give us here. And I remember this, but let's see if you guys can figure it out. Pause the video and see if you are able to figure out this problem here that you have here with white. And I'm telling you, I will give you a hint. White is just fine in this position. All right, here we go. So I think the same move is king to g3 here. Then after king g3, it's rook takes. Then you go rook h5. It's king g6. And then you go rook d5. So you're going to hit this bishop, right? So this bishop is attacked. So if he moves a rook, of course, we take the bishop. So he's going to play bishop b6, most likely, to defend this. Then we go rook check. He goes king f5. We snap this, and he plays rook takes f3. Now, this is the key part right here. What do you actually do in this position? No, they're like, what do you mean? Just take the rook back. Actually, you don't. Play king to g2. Beautiful. Because if you do take this, in the last video we talked a lot about opposition. So in the last video, oh, not last video, but yeah, we did talk a lot about opposition. But here, wait, what happened? How did we just like lose the exercise? Let's get back to the exercise here, which is right here. Yes. So king g3, king g6. Or no, it's rook takes first. Rook takes first. King g3, rook takes, rook h5, king g6, rook d5. Bishop b6, rook d6, king f5, rook takes f3, king g2. And then pawn takes and king takes. Yes. So in this situation, you have the opposition, and that's why opposition is important here. Just like if we talked about in our last video, opposition was what we cover here. So all right, so this is this problem here. Let's take a good look at this one. Very nice position. Let's look at the solution. Solution here is best move is nope, that's the wrong one, sorry. Here we go. Show the solution. King to g3. They say king g1 is wrong because bishop b6, rook h5, king g6, rook h2, rook takes, a5, and a4. Yes, black's winning. Okay, king g3, rook takes f2, rook h5. We said king g6, rook to d5, bishop b6, rook d6 takes, and then the magical move right here, rook takes f3, king g2. They put 2 exclams on that. Because after a takes, king takes f3, it's now equal because you have the opposition. It's very important to not let black have the opposition. And if you would have taken king takes f3, then they'll be taking right here on b6, which means they get the opposition. 100% crazy, insane, but it's a beautiful position. This one right here I've gotten wrong many times. Let's try to get it right. Okay, let's try to get this one right. I got this one wrong many times. Okay, so it's an exercise for us. So pause the video if you want to look at this here. We're gonna work it out right here. I think it's king a6, and then after king b8, b6. Because if takes, we get the opposition, right? Because b6 is king b7. Okay, it's got to be that. King a6, king b8, b6. And then he doesn't have to play takes. I forgot. I think it was like king c8. I think it's this. king here, opposition takes, and then we walk over. Opposition all the way over. All the way over. Winning in game. Winning in game. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's see the solution. Solution is king a6, not b6, because king b7 is a draw. So remember, I did say that. King b7. Yeah, that's correct, because you have to take. Yeah, you have to take that. So king a6, king b8. Says f4, then we play b6, and we're there first. Next move, g3. Oh, snap. Not b6, because it misses the win. Oh, snap. I just told you I get this wrong all the time. All the time I get this one wrong. King a6, king b8. b6 is not. It misses the win. Man, end games are the hardest thing to master, folks. When you master this, man, every other part of your game gets better. And that's why we're doing these today. 15 minutes or more just for you to sit here and do your end games, guys. Sitting here with us over here at the channel. b6, king c8. Dang, that's a draw. King c8, huh? I thought you could just play king b5. But I guess he doesn't have to play king b7. He just takes on b6. Wow. b7, king b8, g3, c5. King b5, and then he gets opposition. Yep. Opposition. Even better now, f4. Take an extra move. Now we take opposition ourselves. Yikes, man. g3 first. Then he goes king a8. Another defensive method also does not help if he tries to go here, because king a7, king d8, king b8. An opposition. Yes, that is an opposition. Absolutely. King d7, king b7, king d8. If king d6, you go king c8, and we outflank him. King c6, outflanking. Yes. King c8, king d5. King b7, king e5. King b6 takes. And we queen in first, huh? King e4. Oh, this is another problem inside a problem, huh? Wow. King b4. Yeah, we have. This is a nice concept here. He's going to push. King d3. You want to get him close. You're going to queen with check, guys. That's the idea here. We're going to queen with check. And once we queen, we there first. Oh, well, it's reset. But yeah, this is it. That's pretty cool. Queen with check. Man, insane. Okay, so back to the game. King a8, b6, king b8, and then king b5. This is the position I was looking for. But the king was on c8. So you got to study end games, guys. This one was another tough one. Man, this book's hard. But you learn a lot from this book, and the calculations definitely help in every part of your game, guys. King to b7, takes, king d7, king d5. This time, white has seized the opposition. Therefore, the pawn sacrifice f4 is pointless. Yes, absolutely. Oh, so this one here, this one's really cool, guys. I'm going to ask you a question here, and I want you to try to figure this out on your own, really. The exercise that they give us here is you want to mate black with just one mating move by the rook. You want to mate black with just one move by the rook. Not cut him off and do another one. How do you mate right now? Not right now, of course, but like we want to mate with one rook move. So see if you can figure that out. See if you're able to figure that out. This exercise is pretty cool. Well, pause the video because I'm going to move forward here. I remember it was this way. And we just zigzag our way all the way up. I don't even know where they go, actually. But we zigzag our way all the way up. So let's see what the solution is, actually. It says king a2, actually. But the white king must come closer to the black one, maintaining the opposition. And when this is impossible, to outflank along the c file. In fact, all this is an algorithm that we know already. A transformation of a distant opposition into a close one. That's the idea here. They just want you to remember this. King a2, king ba. King b2, king aa. King c3. Oh yeah, this one was like crazy. King b7. King b3, king a7, king c4. Yeah, you have to walk in front of this rook. If you get the idea here, guys, you see the zigzag here all the way up. And the rook c8 mate. Interesting exercise. Interesting. It just helps you with opposition, shouldering, outflanking, thinking about all these things here. This next thing is called mined squares. Sometimes it is a single pair of squares that correspond. I refer to such squares as being mined. Do not be the first to step into a mined square or you'll be blown up. That is, fall into zugzwang. You must either first allow your opponent to step on the mined square or move forward, accurately avoiding it. Okay, that's deep. Here are two quite typical examples of mined squares. So I guess that what C4 and B6 are the mined squares, as according to the diagram, the little dots here. Let's see what it says. Here we have what I call untouchable pawns. White's king shuttles between B3, C3, D3. B3, C3, D3. Okay. While the black king goes from C7, B7, A7. Neither of them are able to attack the pawn. The squares C4 and B6 are mined. And the reason being is because if it's white to move here, we go king C4, king B6 is immediately winning. It's a mined square. So now I'm in zugzwang, because that's what mined is in his book, is zugzwang. Where now I have to step off. And I'm losing the pawn and I lose the game, and it's a simple fox in the chicken coop setup, where you get that from Jeremy Seelman's Endgame. But I mean, we can just, we're going to queen a pawn, or we're going to give this one up on C5 and come around over here to G4 and queen that one with opposition, of course. So he doesn't want this to happen. Interesting. This one here. Here, kings at E6 and C5. So here, whose move is it? White to move. This is reciprocal zugzwang. White wins by force if he goes king F6, which is better. King E6 loses, guys. So if you're a beginner watching this channel, or not even a beginner, you'd be surprised how many masters mess up positions very simple like this from just immediately going here and miscalculating. Yeah, you're threatening the pawn. He doesn't have to go back. He can go forward and defend it. You have to step off, and as soon as you do, no matter where you step, this zugzwang, or not zugzwang, sorry, it's the opposition for black. It doesn't matter where you go. We have opposition, and there's no way you're getting in front of me. I'm just going to queen this one quite easily. So you have to go king F6. Best move. Passive defense is also helpless for black if they go king to C7. You just come into him. King E7, king C8, king takes D6. The king captures the D6 pawn. And if the king D8, step over and queen. Beautiful. King F6, king B5, king E7. So as soon as he steps up to the pawn, we step up to the pawn, and he has to step off. King B5, white is better off than his opponent if he replies king E4, not king F6, king C4 with a draw. Oh wow, if it's black to move in the same position right now, the best move is, so this is what it's saying. If it's black to move right now, king B5. That's cool. White, however, is better off than his opponent in that loss of a pawn. Does not mean the loss of a game. He replies with king E4, because if you go king F6, king C4, king E6, king C5. Whew, man, it's so easy to mess that up. So easy to mess that up. I'm telling you, that one in practice, man, that's so easy to mess that up. All right, let's go back a few. That's so easy to mess that up. King E4, king C4, king E3, and after you take, it's opposition. Easy, and it's a draw. Hopefully you know how to draw this. If not, we'll do it real quick for any beginners on the channel here. Take the opposition. You go straight back. Stay in front of the pawn. Straight back. As soon as they approach you, opposition. Stay in front of the pawn. Straight back. If they try to trick you, stay in front of the pawn. Stay in front of the pawn. As soon as they come forward, opposition, and it's a draw. Stalemate. Good to know. And it says now. And now let's return to a position we reach while analyzing Sackman's study. This one right here. Oh yeah, this one. Oh shit, I did this wrong before too. I think it's king b4, and then king b4, king b7, triangulation kind of way. Man, this one sucks. Man, endgames are so hard. I don't remember this one all the way. The only winning try is to get the king on the d6 square. Yes. To keep the opponent from counter-attacking successfully on the queen side, it is important to begin the march with the black king as far away as possible. This consideration shows us the first pair of corresponding squares, a6 and b4. So if king b7, king b3, yes. Oh, it was black to move though, so that's different. King b3, king a6, king b4, king b7, king c4, king a6, and then king d3. Backing up here. Very easy to play something different, like king to c3, which may be the same. King d3, king a5. I'm stepping around the pawn, and once he approaches, then I approach. King b5, king d4. Black has to step off, king a4. We get a little bit closer to him because we want to get to that d6 square. King takes a3, king d6, game over. Now this is still winning from this position too. It does take some technique because you have the second pawn, and you do have to get to the d6 square, so you have to maneuver in a way that you can always step up to the pawn, make black and zugzwang, step off, and then step back onto the pawn. It's very, very difficult sometimes explaining it that way, but that if you understand that, that is the concept. Next one, same way here. I do remember this one too. Pawn in games. King d4 and e4. You're gonna step around this pawn. It's an interesting one. Let's read it. Let's see what it says. A mistake will be king d4 because king e6. Thus, the d4 and e6 squares are mined. Ouch. So the best move is king d3 instead, because if king e6, king d4, it's a mined square. Nice. King d7, e4. Yeah, this is the interesting part. After f4, you play king e2, and then after king e6, king f2. Beautiful. Look at that. King f2, and he resigned after king f2. Because after king takes e5, you just mine square, king f3, and I'm taking on c5 or f4. Man, insane. Start that from the beginning here. King d4 loses because that's a mine square. d4 and e6 are mined. So we go king d3. King e6 is mined, so king d4 wins. So he goes king d7. King d3, king d7, e4, f4. King d4 is mined, and you don't want to even allow that anyway. So you step around it. King e6, he steps up to the pawn, and we step around it. And if he tries to step off, we go forward and we win. That was like greatness. Absolutely greatness there. Wow. All right, let's do this last one here, and then we'll keep this video at like 20 minutes for you guys here. Quick 20 minutes today for your endgames. The position is drawn, but white sets a trap. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's pause the video real quick. Let's not look at the answer. This one is, I think it's bishop f5, bishop g4, king f5. Yep. Bishop f5, bishop g4, king f5. Okay, this is the idea. Bishop f5, king h4, bishop g4. Lock him in. Lock him in. If you walk away, of course, king g3, I'm just going this route. And I'm taking everything. Game over, right? Game over. So, after bishop f5, what is it? King h4, bishop g4. After h5, king f5. And then we just kind of looked at this zugzwang here, this kind of similar position, and we take. Nice little trap, man. That's sweet. So what does it say? Best move, actually. White said, but white unexpectedly succeeds. Bishop d1. Oh, this one's better, huh? I went bishop f5. So is there a different move? Could he have played g4? Why doesn't bishop f5 work? Let's check it out. Something wrong? g4, h takes, king g5. I'm queening on a light square. It's equal. All right, let's look at it. g4. H takes g4. King g5. This is a draw. Wow. Okay, so wow, that sucks. So it must be bishop d4. Bishop d1, I mean. G4 is hard to find too at the same time, but of course, bishop f5 I thought was the answer. Bishop d1, king h4 was the king g6 was necessary, and it would have been equal after h5 and g4, just like doing that. Bishop g4, h5, king f5. So same idea, but oh, here it is right here. It says it is worth noting that bishop f5 must be met not with king h4, but with g4. That's exactly what we just looked at with the engine here. It's good to have the engine here in the book while you're here, so you can check this stuff out. And they say if h takes g4 is a draw, yeah. But if bishop takes king g6 with a draw, it says doubters are referred to beginning of chapter 4. We go get to chapter 4 soon. We're gonna get to chapter 4, but it says if you doubt that this is a draw, go to chapter 4, big fella. Okay, I got it in there for you. The next, and then it says the next pair of exercises are rather difficult. In each, you must judge whether to go into a pawn endgame. We're gonna check those out in the next video, guys. But this is today's endgame video, Dvoretsky's endgame manual, part 3, chapter 1, guys. Make sure you check out the other ones too as well, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here. You can just catch all the videos and stuff that goes live here on the channel. Really appreciate that. Put some comments under the video, share it, like it, all that other good stuff, guys. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys on the next video.